This is the world from China's perspective in 1532. It's geographical, it's religious, it has a lot of weird stuff, and even the Roman Empire. Let's jump right in. In the east are four islands, Japan, then underneath we have something that could mean small or uncultured, and is apparently a slur word for Japanese. Then we have Greater Ryukyu and Lesser Ryukyu. Apparently that refers to Taiwan. There's still an island nowadays which is called Lesser Ryukyu. This Xiao Liu Qiu is what they call it. There are two peoples in the southwest of Chinese folklore. One are the horse-hoof people, which might remind you of centaurs, but they don't have the complete lower body of a horse, just the legs. And then we have the people with hole in chest, which are sometimes carried around on a stick. In the west we have the Roman Empire called Da Qingguo, and Qingguo would be China. And because Rome was this other great empire at the other end of the world, they just called it Da Qingguo, Big China. They never really went there. They had an envoy once that almost made it there. That's what I heard so far. There's no other evidence of China really having active, direct transactions with Rome. There are two northern islands that seem to have more religious meaning than anything else, Complete Union and Majestic Place. To the right of them are two peoples of Chinese folklore, the long leg people and the long arm people. There's one more island in the west that I had forgotten about, and it's the Western Women Land. And if that reminds you of the Amazons, you're not the only one. I was also very much reminded of that, but I'm not sure if this is at all related, or if these myths are just, coincidentally similar. The north simply says Siberia. Below that we have the Xiongnu, which is sometimes translated as the Huns, although these are not the same people that wreaked havoc upon the Roman Empire. These were mounted steppe nomads that just bothered China all the time. China is portrayed much more detailed than any other place. You see city and region names like Beijing and Sichuan, and you even see the Great Wall. South of China is directly India. For some reason they didn't bother with Southeast Asia at all, except for in the west where it kind of doesn't belong. And India is seen as a big place. Now there are a lot of names that I couldn't translate because they were just too small. But what we do see is the East India border, the South India border, and the West India border all in the west. South of India is the Southern Heavenly Lake, which is a bit weird because I don't really see a lake there, I just see mountains, and I'm not sure if I understand the meaning correctly. West of India is Persia, and it is geographically very incorrect, but that doesn't really matter. What matters for this map is that it is similar to China. It is kind of a counterweight, and it mirrors the part in China, so that the entire continent is mirrored. The lake in the middle of the map has four rivers flowing from it, the Ganges and Indus to the south, and the Oxus and the Tarim to the north in Central Asia. There is a similarity to the map I drew previously, which was a European version of the entire world, which also had a lake in the very east, and four rivers were also flowing from that lake. But in that version it was the Nile, the Tigris-Euphrates, but also the Ganges River. These four rivers are very important, but you would think that a map from China would put more importance on the Yellow and Yangtze River. However, the myth about this lake comes from Buddhist religion, which originates in India. Therefore, the Yellow and Yangtze River on this map are definitely there, but they are just part of a different flow. Some notes about the historical context here. This is Ming Dynasty, 1532. The Ming Dynasty came after the Mongol Empire had basically been thrown out of China. And something like the Xiongnu, which I mentioned before, was not really something that existed anymore in that time period. At the same time, the Roman Empire had also ceased to exist. Even the eastern parts of the Roman Empire were completely gone. So it could be that the news didn't reach China at all, and so they just left it there, or maybe it had at this point become some kind of, mythical land anyways. In the Xiongnu, they would have been aware that this wasn't there anymore. Why it is on this map, I'm not completely sure. It might have also just been a term for, these people in the north. Not completely sure. Anyways, I hope you like this tour through the map. Maybe you have some comments on this, maybe my translations aren't completely correct. I'm very happy to receive any kind of feedback, and maybe you have some additional information even that I'm not aware of. Let's have that discussion in the comments down below. You can check the description if you want to get the map. There's a link that you can check out. Anyways, have a good one. See you on the next video. Bye bye.